Good morning, everybody. Welcome back into my kitchen, and let's see what I'm doing here today. It's a beautiful sunny day today, but it's still cold outside, and I always like to start my day with some fresh squeezed orange juice, but this morning I came up with another little idea. So I took 2 grapefruits and 2 oranges, and I juiced those. Then my next idea was add a banana and 5 frozen strawberries. And look what I came up with. Put it in my Vitamix machine, blended it all together, and bam, it's delicious. Delicious. I think everybody in the family would like that, or just the plain juice. Pair that with some bacon and eggs and toast, and you got a winner. But I'm also going to show you how I do some biscuits, but this time they're going to be a little different. So what you want to do, I'm going to turn you this way. So what you want to do is start out with 2 1/4 cup of self-rising flour, okay? And to that we're going to add a 1/2 to a teaspoon of salt. You can do a 1/2 or you can do a full teaspoon, whatever you like, okay? But I'm going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and mix that around. Now this is self-rising, but I also like to add a little bit of baking soda and a little bit of baking powder. So I did a 1/2 teaspoon of each of those. So that's going into the mix. And mix that up. Now this recipe is going to be different because we're going to be adding bacon bits that I just fried up and cooled down, and some sharp cheddar cheese. And again, depends on how much cheese you want in yours and how many bacon pieces you want in yours. I think this is about maybe 4 or 5 pieces, but again, all bacon size is different, so you be the judge on that. And I'm also going to add, whoops, let me get my butter out. So I pre-shredded my butter, so I don't use lard, but what I am going to use is 1 full stick of good butter, okay? So let's just put that in there. Let's do this again. I always get butter on my fingers if I don't use the spoon. And yes, this is super frozen. You need to put it in there at least 15 minutes, but mine's been in there much longer than that, as you can see. So, but those little shard pieces will get throughout your biscuit. But I'm also going to add a little bit of tallow to mine. I just like doing that to really make sure it has the moisture. Butter is going to help with the fluffiness of your biscuits. It'll keep them fluffy. So I'm just going to mix the butter and the flour and the other ingredients together for a while before I put in the buttermilk. And your buttermilk measurement is 1 1/4 cup of buttermilk. Now, if you don't have buttermilk, you know you can take 1 cup of your plain milk and add 1 tablespoon of white apple cider vinegar, and that will give you buttermilk. Let it set for 10 minutes or so, and it'll turn it into buttermilk. So, you know, sometimes when it's bad weather, or maybe you live out in the country and you don't always get to the store, or maybe you don't have bread in the house. Well, gosh, if you have the staples, salt, flour, milk, you can make biscuits. They don't have to be fancy like what I'm going to add, the bacon and the cheddar cheese, but just an idea. The same with making your own ketchup or mayonnaise. If you don't have a bottle of ketchup or mayonnaise, you could always make your own. So to this, after that's kind of mixed in, I'm going to add the buttermilk right down into the center. always have my sink with water, dish water. And yes, I like to wash dishes instead of the dishwasher. I'm just one of those people. So I'm just gonna keep spinning the bowl and just taking this big sturdy spoon and mix this. And after I get that all combined, and before I put it out on the cutting board here, I'm gonna put in my bacon and my cheese. And this is just about where it needs to be. Okay, so I'm just gonna put the cheese in and the bacon and into the water. Okay, now we're gonna take and incorporate these two things into the mix. Now I reserved about a quarter cup of flour because I'm going to flour my bowl, or I'm sorry, I'm going to flour my surface here, and then I'll pat these out and we'll cut out some biscuits. I've got my oven over there preheating. In fact, I think it's already heated. This time I'm going to 480. One of my other videos I did 425. You can do 425, 450, 480, 500. There again, it depends on your oven and how long you want to bake them. So this is looking pretty good. So let's get this off. Scrape all that off. Then we're going to flour the surface here. Got a clean surface. Now I'm not going to use a rolling pin either. I'm going to pat these out. So we're just going to dump this out onto the surface. Down into the sink. Put some flour on my hands so that it doesn't stick to my hands now. And we're just going to pat it down. Let's get some more flour. Push it together. Kind of knead it a little bit, but not much. You're just kind of patting it down, getting it to come together with some flour. Roll it out there on that flour, pat it down. Now here's where some people will cut this and fold it, and that's where you get your fluffiness, but I'm just not going to cut it. I'm just going to pat it down and fold it. Make sure you have enough flour. And I'm using parchment paper. I'm not using any grease or anything on my pan that I'm going to bake them in. So let's just fold that one more time, and push it out. Oh gosh, I can't wait to taste these. And I made some croutons the other day with my leftover biscuits. They were so good. So let's just pat this out. Just pat it out. You don't want it thin, that's for sure. So let's put this here. Here's my pan with parchment paper. Oops. Here's my biscuit cutter. So you want to make sure it has flour on it. And there's my first biscuit. I usually get about 13, the baker's dozen. And I usually use up all the dough. So we'll see. They seem a little thick, but I like them kind of thick, so I think these are looking beautiful. The consistency of the dough is nice too. It's moist enough not too dry. So let's see how these come out. These are going to be nice big biscuits, but oh, the bacon and cheese in there is, I think, is going to really bump them up a notch. So when I get done making them, see, all this, we're just going to take and bring it back together. Make sure my dough or my surface has flour on it. Bring that dough back together. Form that flat pad there. And cut you some more. Ooh, let's turn that back on, because we want that to be ready to go when these biscuits are ready to go into the oven. So let me turn that back on. Okay, I've got that turned back on. Well, let's see how many we're going to get here. I think we're going to get those 13. That made 12. Move these up a little bit, and I tell you, they come out so crunchy. Now this last one, all I'm going to do is kind of form that little ball. I don't need the cutter. The last one, you just kind of make it yourself with your hands and just tap it down, and it's going to be just as good. Let's make room for it though. Got to have room for it here. So there's our 13. I'm going to wash all this off my hands and get ready to brush melted butter on top of the biscuits. And then when the biscuits come back out, I'm going to brush them again with the melted butter, and I'm going to sprinkle some of my sea salt flakes on top of them. And you will see how crunchy it all is. Okay, let me tilt this down so you can see the biscuits. You can't see them there. I can't wait for these biscuits to come out. This is the first time I've done the bacon and the cheese. And then, of course, if there's any, well, there will be some left over after we eat what we want. And then I will make croutons out of those as well, just to eat as a snack or to put on my salad. This is a little piece of the butter paper I missed. Okay, we're going to take these over and put them in the oven. I'm going to put them in the oven at 8 minutes. And I'm going to drink some of my juice, this one, while those are baking, and then I'll be back. See you in a little bit. Okay, I'm back, and the biscuits just turned off, so let me get them out of the oven. Wow, they look superb. Look at this. Look at this. Let me get you down so you can see. There. Okay, we're gonna, well, they came out nice and big and fluffy. Now let's put some more melted butter on them. And then we're gonna sprinkle them with the sea salt. Boy, they came out nice and fluffy. And they only were in for 8 minutes this time. So remember, I bumped the temperature up to 480. Mine only goes up to 480, not 500. If I was at the 425, I probably would have to put them in for 10 minutes. But this way they cook fast. And look how nicely they rose. Wow. I don't know which one to have first. Let's get that sea salt on them. These are Malden's sea salt flakes. I'm just going to sprinkle them right on top. That butter will hold them in a little bit. And then you can taste the flavor of the butter and the salt on the biscuit. I want to get a little plate. Let's take this one right here. Oh goodness, look here how beautiful the bottom is. Beautiful. I'm so excited. Let's see if we can taste those bacon bits. Move that out of the way a little bit. Get a serrated knife. And cut this beautiful thing in half. Ooh, goodness, look at that. Mmm, I smell biscuit. Melt some of that on there. And put the rest over on this side. There we go. Let's see. See the top, the inside. Definitely has flavor. I can taste the bacon. I think you'd like those. And the salt. It's delicious. And you can put your jam, jelly, whatever you want on them. So, and here again, here's the bottom. I'm going to do this because that's going to slide off. But look how nice that is. They're not burnt at all. So, I hope you make them. Remember, if you don't have bread, pull out the flour and the butter and the salt and the buttermilk and make you some biscuits. You know, when we have our children, we try to teach them, and we do teach them. There's no doubt about that. But boy, when that grandchild comes, because now you're older, you're wiser, you have more time, that's when you really want to kick in and do and give and share all you can with that little one. So that's what I do. That's why I'm here trying to share the knowledge that I have with the people that I care about. So I thank you for stopping in my kitchen, and I welcome you back anytime. Thanks. Bye.